You think attraction is loud, big gestures, obvious flirting, neon signs that say, "she wants you." That's why you miss it. Attraction doesn't walk up and introduce itself. It leaks. It escapes in half-second windows, in the breath between words, in the way she organizes her body around your gravity and pretends she didn't. You've been trained to chase obvious cues because obvious cues feel safe, but obvious cues arrive late, after the moment has already chosen a direction. If you want an unfair advantage, you learn to detect the moment before it becomes obvious. That's what we're doing right now. I'm going to teach you the signals no one notices until they've already lost the chance. This isn't theory, it's calibrated attention. It's the difference between guessing and knowing, between pushing and leading. If what you hear in the next minutes shifts how you see yourself, stay with me until the end. We're just getting started. Start with this frame. Attraction is a pattern of returns. 1 signal might be random, 2 is interesting, 3 in a short window. Now we're reading a system. Your job isn't to pounce on a single sign. Your job is to notice clusters and gently test reality. Think of yourself as calm radar. Slow breath, spine tall, eyes warm, presence grounded. When your body is grounded, you see more. When you see more, you push less. When you push less, she relaxes and gives you more to read. That loop is masculine power. Presence that reveals the truth without forcing it. The first signal is the hinge of attention. Micro glances that return to you after she looks away. Most men only notice the first look. You notice the second. The second look is the one she doesn't plan. It happens right after she pretends to be absorbed elsewhere. Watch for the quick pull of her eyes to the side of your face, not the center. Attraction checks the perimeter before it visits the throne. If she glances and then self-adjusts, touches hair, clothing, jewelry, she's regulating arousal. That self-touch isn't vanity, it's a way to discharge energy. The more often it follows the glance, the more likely she's negotiating her own interest. Next, listen to how her voice edits itself around you. Human voices shrink or expand depending on status and desire. With mild attraction, her tone softens half a note, sentences trail off softly, and there's a slight delay before she answers direct questions, as if your presence loads her buffer. With stronger attraction, silence appears right after you speak. That tiny pause means she felt something and needs a heartbeat to metabolize it. Don't rush into that silence, own it. Let the pause be a room where intensity grows. Men who can sit inside that room without fidgeting turn soft interest into tension. Feet tell the truth when the mouth can't. If she's standing, check the alignment. Hips may face one direction, but feet point where the mind wants to go. If her feet drift toward you in a group, even a few degrees, she's opening a path. If she's seated, watch the pivot. Knees that angle toward you or a heel hooked around the leg of a chair on your side. These are quiet claims of proximity. If she's crossed away and then uncrosses when you speak, there's a physiological release from guarded to receptive. The more her lower body orients toward you without conscious correction, the more her nervous system is voting yes. The placement of objects becomes territorial. Attraction invites you closer without announcing it. She moves her phone, her bag, her drink, creating a corridor between you. It's subtle architecture. If she leaves her drink near your hand rather than hers. If her bag shifts from barrier to the far side of her body. If her menu or notebook slides slightly toward you during conversation, she's making the table a shared territory. Test it softly. Slide your watch, your keys, or your napkin into the space she offered. If she doesn't reclaim the territory, you just watched a boundary lower. Notice how often she pretends to be unaffected when something about you lands. This shows up as smoothing movements. Wrist to neck, finger to ear, palm to collarbone. Those areas are rich in nerve endings. People touch them to front-run the blush. It's like placing a hand over a speaker to dampen the volume. You trigger that when your frame, your eye contact, or a line you deliver connects deeper than her rational mind expected. When you see a smoothing move, slow your cadence. Drop your voice half an inch. Give her nervous system space to enjoy the spike rather than deny it. Mirroring is entry level. Refined mirroring is the real tell. Most people know that if she copies your posture, she's aligning. But watch timing. Attraction mirrors with a delay, then gets bolder. You lean back. She leans back 8 seconds later. That's social. You lean forward and she leans before you finish moving. That's attraction tuning itself to your rhythm. Then the drift happens. You sit taller and her spine gradually straightens beyond your height. She's not copying anymore. She's synchronizing, then offering escalation. When her body starts leading micro changes you'd usually initiate, she's asking to be led macro. Hair talk is not just she plays with her hair. It's where, how, and when. Touching ends is self-soothing. Twirling at the temple is coyness. Stroking behind the ear exposes the neck, primal vulnerability. Brushing hair to one side and letting it fall to reveal the jawline, then looking down and up. This is a staged reveal. It says, "I know what you see." If it happens right after you hold eye contact, she's acknowledging the charge and participating. If she does it as you arrive before you even speak, she's preemptively raising her own desirability in your frame. Both matter. The first is a response to you. The second is an invitation to you. Blink rate shifts under arousal and stress. Don't count blinks like a lab tech. Just clock contrasts. If her blink rate increases as you hold eye contact and drops when you look away, your gaze is a stimulus. If the opposite happens, blinks slow when you lock eyes, it can indicate calm under your presence, which is also good. The consistent piece is reactivity. Your attention changes her physiology and it settles when the stimulus changes. That means you're not just a guy in the room, you're a variable in her nervous system. Words will try to deceive you. Structure doesn't. Listen to what her questions ask of your identity. Basic interest asks about logistics. Where are you from? What do you do? Real attraction searches for narrative. What made you choose that? What's your thing outside of work? When she moves from collecting facts to exploring the man behind the facts, she's shifting from cataloging to imagining. Notice future-oriented phrases that test a hypothetical world with you in it. You'd probably laugh at this. You seem like the type who... She's painting you into her world to see how it feels. If she suggests something very specific, you'd like the little cafe with the hidden courtyard, and checks your face as she says it, she's handing you a door. Step through. Let's go Thursday. Compliance is a clean metric. Attraction agrees with your frame in ways that protect her from blame if it goes nowhere. Make small, neutral requests that organize behavior without trapping her. Let's grab the couch, it's quieter. Hold this a second. Join me for 2 minutes by the corner. I want to hear you without shouting. If she follows smoothly, if she adjusts her world to your leadership, that's not just being polite. Polite declines are crisp and brief. Attraction compiles micro yeses into motion. The sequence is what matters. If she agrees, then invests. Asks a question, shares a thought, lingers. Your leadership felt good in her body. Keep it light, keep it assumptive, and always give an exit. Strength is confident enough to offer freedom. You'll see protective interference from friends. Don't be offended. It's a social ecosystem. The signal within interference is her alignment when the group pulls. If a friend interrupts and she delays leaving by returning to finish a sentence with you, if she double-checks your eyes as she backs away, if she turns her torso to the group but leaves her feet planted toward you for just a moment longer, she's marking you as unfinished business. When you see this, remove pressure. Smile, nod at the friend, and tell her, "Go rescue them. I'll borrow you for 2 minutes when you're back." You create safety. You keep the thread. Attraction strengthens in preserved threads. Digital signals reveal frictionless desire. People are always busy until they aren't. Look for response quality, not just speed. A woman who is neutral gives short, administrative answers. A woman leaning in mirrors your rhythm, then adds flourish, an emoji that matches your energy, a callback to something you said, a voice note without you asking. Notice where messages open. If she's consuming your message and leaving it unread to reply later with something more deliberate, that's investment. If she shares small snippets of her day without you prompting, micro-broadcasts, you've become a channel she wants to keep open. Translate digital warmth into real momentum quickly. Extended texting with no movement is indulgent, not leadership. Proximity has layers, not just closeness, but tolerance for density. In a crowded place, if she anchors near you even when space opens elsewhere, she's choosing to share your bubble. If she brushes against you and doesn't apologize, or apologizes with a smile that lands and lingers, she's checking contact. Let your side of the body be available. Don't flinch, don't crowd. Let her calibrate her own comfort toward you while you remain steady. The masculine gift is unreactive ease. She'll fill it if she wants to. Watch for micro-ownership behaviors. She moves something that belongs to you, straightens your collar, dusts off your shoulder, lifts your glass to make space for a plate. That's not just helpfulness, it's participation in your physical world. If she holds your phone to show you something and lingers a second longer than necessary before returning it, if she asks to try on your jacket just for a second, she's practicing how it feels to occupy your space. If it happens early, it's often play. If it happens late, after tension has grown, it's an escalation signal wrapped in innocence. Humor is a weather report for attraction. Friendly humor spreads energy outward. Attracted humor lands inward. When she jokes and looks immediately at you to measure impact, you're the point of reference. Playful challenge is not rejection. It's permission to show backbone. Let her see you enjoy being tested without collapsing into boyish neediness or rigid defensiveness. A simple, slow smile and a steady, "I'll allow that," shows frame without theater. In that moment, your composure is the message. I am not trying to pass your tests, I'm enjoying them. Hands betray priority. Busy women keep hands occupied, phone, bag, drink. If she frees her hands when you speak, placing items down, interlacing fingers, palms visible, she's opening bandwidth. Palms up or displayed is openness. Fingertips on the rim of a glass while listening is concentration, not boredom. Fidgeting that accelerates when your energy rises is anticipation trying to find a release valve. Use pacing. You're the thermostat. Eye contact needs nuance. Prolonged eye contact gets discussed endlessly, but the edges of the gaze are where the truth lives. Notice triangle patterns, eyes to mouth to eyes again. When she looks down and to the side after you catch her, that's an approval check from her inner critic. When she looks down, then quickly back up through the lashes, that's a shy dare. Slow your blink once. Keep your face still, then speak slowly, as if your words are moving through warm water. If she bites the inside of her lip or inhales through the nose with a tiny flare, you just spiked tension. Do less, not more. Time dilation is one of the cleanest reads. If people around you fade and she stops scanning the room, if she forgets to check her phone, if she anchors with little uh-huh and sounds while you speak, the conversation has become a bubble. Pop it on your terms. Pause. I want to keep this going, but it's loud here. Come with me for 5 minutes. When attraction is present, that suggestion is a relief, not a pressure. You're protecting the bubble. When you tease lightly and she upgrades her appearance in response, lip balm, adjusting a necklace, refreshing gloss, tucking a flyaway, she's signaling that your perception matters. If she steals your language, reusing your phrases, joking in your cadence, you've imprinted. The human brain bonds through shared vocabulary. Feed it. Coin a phrase for her in real time, something playful and specific. Then notice if she reuses it. When she does, you've given her a little piece of us. Watch door frames. Literally. Transitions reveal who leads. As you move from one space to another, does she hesitate and glance your way? If she steps just behind your shoulder rather than parallel. If she waits a beat for you to choose a direction, she's granting you the reins. Accept them calmly. Lead with gentle certainty. The body relaxes when someone competent directs movement without fuss. Listen for slow disclosures that grow braver. Attraction tests emotional trust by escalating topic depth. She begins with safe opinions, then she reveals a quirky habit, then a tiny insecurity framed as a joke, then a vulnerable story fragment with a quick self-interruption. That self-interruption, never mind, is a green light if you handle it with care. Don't pry. Pivot to something adjacent that signals you understood the weight without demanding more. She will reopen if she feels seen, not extracted. Seduction is the art of creating a pocket of safety where her true self emerges voluntarily. Textures matter. People adjust voice and touch-level words in response to how grounded you are. When your touch vocabulary is descriptive without being explicit, this fabric feels smooth, this wood has weight, the air is cooler near the door, you normalize sensual awareness. If she amplifies it, I like how warm this mug is. That candle smells clean. She's joining your sensorium. From there, a brief, relevant touch is the clean test. Guiding a shoulder through a crowd, a palm to forearm pivot, a knuckle lightly meeting hers to emphasize agreement. The cue to proceed is her staying in the touch, not the touch itself. Look for repair attempts after minor misalignments. If you mishear something or playfully challenge and she senses a dip, attraction will send tiny olive branches. She'll re-explain with warmth, reinitiate eye contact, or bring back a previously fun topic to restore the high. If she makes those moves, she's invested in the interaction's emotional tone. Match the effort, but don't over-repair. A single clean "I got you" with a half smile restores the current without drama. Now there's a different class of signal men ignore because they're addicted to comfort. Purposeful resistance. A woman can be attracted and still slow the pace. She might test your patience, your consistency, your response to a boundary. If she expresses a clear limit without moralizing, "I don't move fast," "I have an early morning," "I'm taking things slow," and stays in the interaction, that's not disinterest. That's responsible desire. Your response is masculine clarity without negotiation. Beautiful, we're not in a race. Then continue the vibe without sulking, without needing to convince her you're okay. Embodied ease is oxygen to attraction. If you're steady, she relaxes. When she relaxes, everything moves faster than if you had tried to make it fast. In groups, watch how she withdraws attention from others to refuel with you. She'll contribute to the circle, then check your reaction, then redirect her energy your way with a small aside or private comment. These micro-bridges are gold. They tell you to create a two-person world inside the many. Use names. When you say her name quietly at the right moment, the room fades by design. Names are anchors. Deploy them sparingly for impact. Investment often shows up as logistics offered by her, not asked by you. She suggests time windows, sends a location that's convenient for you, or rearranges a schedule. If she proposes a quick coffee near your place because you're already out that way, she's lowering friction. Still lead. Pick a time and hold it. Leadership sets the container. Her investment fills it. Body temperature is subtle but real. If you're close enough and she's warmed unexpectedly, back of the neck, wrists, cheeks, it's arousal. You won't always get to read that directly, but you'll see proxies. She removes a layer in a cool room, fans herself jokingly, or orders water mid-conversation. Don't call it out. Ease your voice even slower. Think velvet, not steel. Look at how she navigates interruptions. If a server arrives and she maintains eye contact with you through the order, if a phone notification flashes and she silences it face down without breaking the rhythm, you're the priority channel. If someone else tries to pull her and she physically touches your arm as she turns, a fingertip, a brief press, she's tethering the connection. That's not casual contact. That's a verbal "wait for me" done with skin. Notice her relief when you label the energy cleanly. Men fear speaking the obvious because they worry it will break the spell. The right line deepens it. "I like how easy this is. I'm enjoying the way you think. You have a quiet intensity, I notice." Keep it about your experience, not a judgment of her character. If she exhales, if her shoulders drop, if she colors with a pleased micro-smile, you just gave permission for the chemistry to exist out loud. Once it's named calmly, it doesn't have to hide. Hidden tension pretends to be banter. Revealed tension becomes choice. Pay attention to pace mismatches that resolve toward you. If she speaks quickly and begins to slow to your tempo, that's entrainment. If she's usually loud and becomes a notch softer, she's drawing intimacy closer. If she leans in when you lower volume rather than asking you to speak up, she's choosing closeness. Use this ethically. Don't whisper secrets to force proximity. Offer a tone she wants to approach and let her come. Signals of nonverbals turn into tests of leadership. When she mentions something concrete, there's a hidden courtyard, there's a rooftop with a view, she's giving you puzzle pieces. Assemble them. Okay, Thursday, 7:30. We'll grab 10 minutes on that rooftop first, then wander to the courtyard. The masculine container is specificity plus flexibility. If she counters with, "Could we do 8?" That's yes with an adjustment. Honor it. Move one piece, keep the frame. When attraction is new, she'll often try to rationalize herself out of it. You'll hear disclaimers. "I don't usually do this. I'm not like that. I have high standards." These are not challenges to fight, they're signals that she's negotiating internal rules. Your answer is composure and pace. "Good. I prefer rare." Or, "Right, we'll keep this simple." The worst move is to flood reassurance or argue. The best move is embodiment. Calm eyes, slow breath, and choices that align with what you say. Words are cheap, rhythm sells. One of the strongest yet quietest signs is return behavior after a break. You left the room, you ended the conversation to greet someone, or you took a call and came back. Does she reopen the channel without prompting? Does she relocate to be within your line of sight? Does she offer a new thread without you pulling? That's not politeness, that's momentum-seeking reattachment. Treat reattachment like a gift. Don't relaunch loudly. Pick up the prior tone and move it forward a step. The environment will always give you cover to test. Use transitions, temperature shifts, and seating changes to read her elasticity. Stand here for a second. The breeze is better. Let's sit where you can see the door. Each micro move creates a micro choice. A woman invested in you welcomes these micro choices because they feel natural. You're not pulling her out of her world, you're curating it with her inside. Now, calibrate against false positives. Some women are high social, touchy, playful with everyone. How do you separate charisma from attraction? Baselines. Watch how she treats others, then measure the delta with you. Does she hold your eye a beat longer than with the server? Does her laughter with you have the drop at the end that signals sincerity rather than volume? Does she break proximity to others after a joke but stay close to you after yours? The delta is your signal. You're not looking at behavior in isolation. You're looking at how her body votes differently when you're the stimulus. There's one more family of signals men ignore because it feels too easy. Permissions. She will seed tiny green lights disguised as jokes or practicalities. You'd hate this place unless you like sunsets. Permission. I can't believe I'm telling you this. Permission. We shouldn't, but it would be fun. Permission. A permission is an invitation to lead ethically, not to bulldoze. You answer with structure. We'll do the sunset for 10, then escape before it gets crowded. You honor her boundaries and still move the story forward. That's what turns attraction into trust. You're not here to tally signs like trophies. You're here to feel pattern gradients. See 3 to 5 signals across different channels: eyes, body orientation, compliance, investment, returns, and you lean in with a measured move. Each move gets a response. Read it. Adjust. The man who reads and adjusts wins the long game because he never has to guess. He just listens to what reality already wants. If this is hitting a nerve, if you're noticing how much you've been missing, sit up. Your presence is the technology. Technique only works when your nervous system is calm enough to track the room. Right now, loosen your jaw, drop your shoulders, breathe down into your belly. Feel the back of your neck lengthen. This is not yoga, it's signal amplification. Calm men see what frantic men bulldoze. When you see, you stop trying to make things happen. You let things happen and guide them with a light hand. There are times you'll read interest and still choose to walk. That's mastery. Not every yes is your yes. When you can detect attraction with this level of clarity, you stop chasing validation. You start curating experiences. Your standards rise because you're no longer starved. You're fed by your own presence, not by external permission. Women feel that difference immediately. It turns you from a suitor into a center of gravity. This is where you integrate subtle calls to action into your life, not just this moment. If what you've heard so far is shifting how you see yourself, stay with me until the end. Then run the experiments in your next conversation. Notice 3 signals, make 1 calm move, and read the truth it reveals. If something clicks, if you catch the second glance, if you watch her clear the table border between you, if you feel that quiet pause after your voice, drop your thoughts below. I read every single one because the pattern of your wins and insights sharpens this work for all of us. And if you know a brother who keeps missing the obvious because he's stuck chasing the loud, send this to him today. Don't keep it to yourself. Let's tighten your toolkit with clean, actionable moves that fit the signals we just decoded. When you notice the hinge of attention glance followed by self-touch, ask a grounding, identity-forward question, not a survey. What decision did you make this year that you're proud of? Identity questions produce eye softening and posture opening. When you get the body orientation and corridor of objects, bridge the space. Shift 2 steps left with me, perfect. Then stand shoulder to shoulder for a moment before turning to face her. Parallel bodies relax easier than direct face-offs. When you catch refined mirroring and proactive straightening, slow your gestures by 10% and introduce a crisp micro-command. Hold that thought. This is better. Then lead a movement of 2 to 3 meters. Short, decisive transitions build trust. When digital warmth escalates, callbacks, voice notes, convert fast and simple. Offer 2 time options and 1 location, then confirm with a sentence that frames the experience, not the logistics. Wednesday 8 or Thursday 7, small espresso bar off the main street. 10 minutes to argue about why you think I'd hate sunsets. She'll laugh and pick. Keep texts light. Let the polarity live in person. If humor tilts toward you and she tests your composure, give her a controlled loss. Take 1 playful jab and let it land with a slow grin. Then return. Serve gently. You're dangerous with that confidence. I like it. That line reveals your standards. Confident women are welcome, while holding your frame. Follow it with a curious pivot to deepen. What did you have to unlearn to earn that? Attraction craves a man who can handle fire without trying to put it out. When proximity is tolerated and touch tests pass, guiding through a crowd, forearm touch sustained, introduce a slightly more intimate but still socially clean contact. Brief palm-to-shoulder pressure as you lean to speak. The cue for correctness is her leaning back toward the point of contact or staying close after you remove it. If she withdraws or stiffens, you overshot. No apology monologue, just reduce intensity and return to verbal connection. Presence is tuning, not force. When she sets a boundary in the midst of warmth, treat it like a compliment to your chemistry. I hear you. We'll keep the pace under control. Then proceed to connect exactly as before, with the same warmth, no sulk. This persuades more than arguing because it shows you're in command of yourself. A man in command of himself is a man a woman can relax with. And watch what happens when you name a truth cleanly and lightly. We have a good rhythm. If she agrees quickly or smiles without speaking, you just integrated the vibe into consciousness. From there, the most powerful move is the simplest. Let's continue this on Thursday. Leadership is not excess words, it's precise ones. You might be asking, how do I keep all this in my head? You don't. You install habits of attention. Before any social setting, remind yourself, pattern of returns. Notice eyes, objects, feet, and follow through. Respect clusters. Make 1 move at a time and evaluate. If you're tempted to talk to fill space, feel your back muscles and slow your breath by 1 count. Silence isn't a void, it's a frame. The right women will step into it gladly. Underneath all of this is something deeper than tricks or tactics. It's respect, not the performative kind, the structural kind. You respect her nervous system by not flooding it. You respect your own value by not begging for it to be recognized. You respect reality by reading it. When you operate from that triad, seduction stops being a chase and starts being an exchange. You bring grounded presence, clear intent, and the ability to lead from comfort to discovery. She brings curiosity, energy, and the freedom to choose. That's adult polarity. That's the game you want to play. So here's your final reframe, and I want you to let it etch itself into your posture. Attraction is not a prize you win. It's a current you allow. When you stop demanding thunder and learn to feel the electricity in the air, you'll catch everything before it's obvious. You'll know when to hold the pause, when to step forward, when to let her come closer, when to lead the transition. You'll stop chasing certainty and start creating clarity. That's what calm men do. That's what powerful men do. That's what you do from now on. If you felt your standards rise and your vision sharpen while we talked, good. You just leveled up your radar. Keep it on. In your next conversation, find 3 quiet signals and make 1 confident move. Then come back and tell me what you saw. I read every single message because the patterns you notice become part of this conversation, and men who share their wins help other men win. And if there's a man in your circle who keeps missing the green lights because he's waiting for fireworks, send this to him right now. Don't keep it to yourself. You don't need permission to lead. You just need presence. Take it with you.